Welcome to Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center. The University of the South System, through the Center, shall serve as a catalyst of environmental advocacies and biodiversity conservation initiative in URS service areas. The Center shall facilitate the integration of environmental education principles in the curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular programs of the university. This also includes the celebration of annual University Environment Week every month of November. The Center also spearheads the implementation of university management guidelines which pertains to waste disposal, community education and public awareness, tree planting and care of plants, smoke-free campus, agricultural practices, animals in the campus, energy conservation, water conservation, purchasing of materials, environmental army, environmental fee, and enforcement. Also, the management of material recovery facility, which primary purpose is to recover recyclables and minimize materials which will be disposed through the dump site and landfills. The Center also takes lead in the conduct of researches and projects along with the thrusts and priorities of the university, specifically those pertinent to environmental education and biodiversity conservation. The Center also undertakes activities that warrant the compliance of the university to environmental laws. The Center also takes part in the community environmental advocacies and partnerships. With the commitment of the Center and the University of the South System, we believe that we are inspiring people toward environmental stewardship.
Security Unit and ROTC Building, the University Sports Development Center, our multi-purpose canteen, the campus cooperative's business affairs, the multi-purpose ground sunken oval, the Dumagat Hall that caters indoor activities, the Student Center and USSG office, the Office of Student Development Services, the Education Hall, the NSTP Building, Campus Public and Alumni Affairs and Culture and Arts Office, Farm Shop and Technology Building, our science laboratories, Anthurium and Ornamental Project for Learning Site, our medical and dental unit, the Jose P. Rizal Hall or admin building where various offices are located, the office of our campus director and planning head, the Information Technology Center, and many more. The campus campus also serves as the seat for some university offices. We have the Research, Development, Extension and Production Training Center. The Sustainable Agriculture and Natural Resources Institute. With its various projects that also serve as learning sites. The Office of Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center that is also in charge of the management of the locally declared 6 hectares protected area. Despite the challenges brought by the pandemic, the University of Rizal system, specifically Panay campus, is committed to this meaningful journey towards academic excellence and responsive community service. Our vision is to become the leading university in human resource development, knowledge and technology generation, and environmental stewardship. With the mission that the University of Rizal system is committed to nurture and produce upright and competent graduates and empowered community through relevant and sustainable higher professional and technical instruction, research, extension, and production services. And core values of reason, responsiveness, integrity, service, excellence, social responsibility. With that, we commit to nurture tomorrow's noblest. Education Office. Our multi-purpose covered building. Security Unit and ROTC building. The University Sports Development Center. Our multi-purpose canteen. The campus complex business affairs. The multi-purpose ground section open. The Gumbaga Hall that caters indoor activities. The Student Center and 𝑬𝒏𝒗𝒊𝒐𝒏 office. The Office of Student Development Services. The Education Hall. The NSTP building. Campus Public and Alumni Affairs and Culture and Arts Office. Workshop and Technology building. Our science laboratories. Aquarium and ornamental project for learning science. Our medical and dental unit. The 𝑪𝒍𝒊𝒎𝒂𝒕𝒆 Hall or admin building where various offices are located. The office of our campus director and planning head. The Information Technology Center and many more. The campus also serves as the seat for some university offices. We have the Research, Development, Extension and Production Training Center. The Sustainable Agriculture and Natural Resources Institute. Its bargain project also serves as learning sites. The Office of Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center that is also in charge of the management of the locally shared 6-hectare protected area. Despite the challenges brought by the pandemic, the University of Rizal system, specifically Tunay campus, is committed to this meaningful journey towards academic excellence and responsive community service. Our vision is to become the leading university in human resource development, knowledge and technology generation, and environmental stewardship. With the mission that the University of Rizal system is committed to nurture and produce upright and competent graduates and empowered community through relevant and sustainable higher professional and technical instruction, research, extension, and production services. And core values of rising, responsiveness, integrity, service, excellence, social responsibility. With that, we commit to nurture tomorrow's noblest. The University of Rizal system is an organized academic entity composed of separate that interrelated units, coordinates, and integrates system-wide functions and activities. It has the prime mandate of providing instruction, research, extension, and production to the public. The main campus of URS is located here at J.P. Rizal Street, Barangay 𝑪𝒍𝒊𝒂𝒕𝒆, with approximately 92.4 hectares. The campus has 3 colleges and a laboratory school. We have the College of Agribusiness Management, College of Agriculture, and the College of Science and Education. To realize the quality policy of the university, stating its commitment to deliver excellent products and services, to ensure total stakeholder satisfaction in instruction, research, extension, production, and dynamic administrative support, and to continuously improve its quality management system processes to satisfy all applicable requirements. Here are the glimpses of our facilities in support to academic and non-academic activities. We have the campus library, the student publication office, our multi-purpose covered court, security unit and ROTC building, the University Sports Development Center, our multi-purpose canteen, the campus
Hello, mic test. So before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to give thanks to our partners in the 11th Annual Environment Week in the person of the Provincial Environment and Natural Resources Office of Rizal Province. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Thank you so much po for being here with us today. And as well as our delegates from the different campuses of the University of Rizal System. And of course, we would like to give and acknowledge the presence of our University President, Dr. Nancy T. Pascual, together with our Vice Presidents and our campus directors. Climate change is one of the most pressing issues of our time. It affects every aspect of our lives, from the air we breathe to the food we eat. This week, we will explore various ways we can take action to combat climate change and promote sustainability. To our University President, Dr. Nancy T. Pascual, to our Vice Presidents who are here with us today, to our campus directors, heads of units, faculty members and staff, delegates and guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the 11th Annual University Environment Week with the theme, URS Cares, Climate Action for Resilient and Environmentally Sustainable Future, in partnership with Provincial Environment and Natural Resources Office of the Province of Rizal. To begin our program, let us all rise for a prayer and the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, URS Hymn, URS Mission, Vision, Core Values, Quality Policy, and the Environmental March.
Amang banal, buong lugod po namin pinapupurihan. Amang banal, buong lugod po naming pinapupurihan at niluluwalhati ang iyong pangalan. Kalakip ang aming pagmamahal at pasasalamat sa inyong pagpapala at mga biyaya. Hinihiling po namin ang iyong banal na patnubay sa University of Rizal System at sa buong sambayanan. Gabayan po ninyo kami upang magampanan namin ang aming mga tungkulin na ipinagkatiwala ninyo sa amin sa diwa ng tapat na paglilingkod. Ibuhos po ninyo sa amin ang mga biyaya upang lumago kami sa wagas na pag-ibig sa Diyos at sa aming kapwa, nang sa gayon ay manahan sa amin ang katalinuhan, katarungan at kapayapaan habang binabalikat namin ang aming mga gampanin. Sa tulong ng inyong pag-ibig at kahabagan, tulungan po ninyo kami na mapagtagumpayan ang mga pagsubok sa aming buhay, habang tinatahak namin ang landas patungo sa iyo. Itulot po ninyo na kayo ay manatili sa aming diwa, salita at gawa sa tuwina.
Sa langit mamaga, maginagang tula at awit sa paglayang ginamahal. Ang isang ng matao, ako'y tagumpay na nalilinig. Ang ituwing nataraw na kanya, pang may di magdidinig. Lumalakaran ng ating pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Ang mga labi ay umusan ng pagkain. Ang mga puso'y punuin ng kagalakan. Tapas noong ibandila ang 𝑬𝒏𝒗𝒊𝒏𝒕. Mga pangarap at ipinigin mo sa buhay, sa pamantas ay mabibigyan at umarang ang kulang mong isipan. Inangayan, pinagyaman sa hamon ng panahon. Kailan ka tumitig ng may tangan? Ang mga labi ay umusan ng pag-aaral. Ang mga puso'y punuin ng kagalakan. Takas noong ibandila ang 𝑬𝒏𝒗𝒊𝒏𝒕. Mga pangarap at ipinigin mo sa buhay, sa pamantas ay mabibigyan at umarang ang kulang mong isipan. Pinangayan, pinagyaman sa hamon ng panahon. Kailan ka tumitig ng may
In technology generation and environmental stewardship.
Halina, halina, tayo ay magkaisa at inilangin ang kalikasan ng sama-sama. Uri natin ay gampanan, ipinagkatiwala niya ng lubusan ang mahal nating kalikasan. Agapan ng pagkilos, kamunal ay ibubos, kalikasan ay mahalaga, pag-isip ng bawat isa, nasa bayan natin, unod ng pag-asa. Kalikasan na sa atin ay biyaya, sa atin ang may lubos na paniniwala, na ang pagkakaisa ay may dulot na pag-asa. Pag-ibig ng Diyos sa bawat isa, mahalin natin ang mundo, inihiling na buhay natin at kalikasan isa. Agapan ng pagkilos, kamunlad ay ibubos, kalikasan ay mahalaga, pag-isip ng bawat isa, para sa bayan natin, unod ng pag-asa.
At this part of the program, let us listen for the welcome remarks of the campus director of the University of Rizal System Tanay. Let's give a big hand to Dr. Namrod F. Mateo.
Maraming salamat, Sir Emil. To the esteemed guest of honor and speaker, in the person of Dr. Brian Daniel Paul Liamansares, who is still on his way, to URS. But of course, his advance party in the person of Jason Franco ay nandito na po, no? Asan si Sir Jason? Nandito na kanina. Okay. He will be properly introduced later. To the dynamic and very supportive University President, Dr. Nancy T. Pascual, equally dynamic and very supportive Vice Presidents, Dr. Alan Iconde for Academic Affairs, Dr. Marites M. Rio for Research, Development, Extension, and Production, and of course, Dr. Marvin P. Amuin, although wala siya dito, ano po? Okay. And of course, the University Research Director, Dr. Johnny S.J. Maning team, unfortunately, wala sa atin ngayon. The head of EABRC, Ma'am Esther Recla, the Director for University Extension Services, Dr. P. Esperanza T. Mateo, the Director of the University Production Unit, Ma'am Jessica Cristorum, College Deans, Heads of Units, Campus EABRC focal persons from the different campuses, faculty and non-teaching personnel, our friends and partners from the DNR Penro, headed by Engineer Robinel Pepito, other guests who are present today, isang makakalikasang umaga sa ating lahat. In behalf of URS Tanay family, it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you all to the 11th Annual University Environment Week celebration with the theme, URS Cares, Climate Action for Resilience and Environmentally Sustainable Future. It has been 11 years of continuous promotion and active involvement in the implementation of various activities geared towards contributing something tangible in mitigating the effects of climate change. So 11 years na tayo na nagse-celebrate ng Environmental Week. The commitment of the university to respond to SDG 13 on climate action and to the Convention of Biological Diversity is manifested in its vision focusing on environmental stewardship. This commitment is pursued through the implementation of its enabling policies on environment and its strong partnership with other institutions in carrying out various programs related to environmental conservation. With the sharing of our guest of honor and speaker, I am certain that everyone will be further motivated to actively participate in any activity that will promote environmental sustainability. Your presence today is an indication of your full support to this noble undertaking of sustaining an environment that is safe to the present and future generation. Once again, good morning and mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you so much to the Campus Director of the University of Rizal System Tanay, Dr. 𝑪𝒍𝒊𝒎𝒂𝒕𝒆. Now to render us a message in celebration of the annual Environment Week, let us welcome the President of the University of Rizal System. Let's give a big hand to Dr. Nancy T. Pascual.
Thank you very much, Sir Emil. To our keynote speaker, who will be properly introduced later, Dr. Brian Daniel Po, Llamazares, Engineer Robinil Pipito, and his team from the ENR Penro. To our Vice Presidents, Dr. Matas Rio of Research, Development, Production, and Extension, Dr. Alan Conde of Academic Affairs, and to the Campus Director of URS Tanay, Dr. Nemrod Mateo, to the Director of Extension Office, Dr. P. Esperanza Mateo, to the Head of Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center, Ms. Esther Recla, to the Director of Production, Director Jessica Cristorum, to the Head of Quality Assurance, Ms. Marina Reyes, to EEBRC focal person for the 10 campuses, to all the faculty, deans and program heads and staff present today, a blessed morning to all. It is indeed a blessed morning because we are thankful that we had been spared from the effects of Typhoon Pipito. Salamat at narito tayo ngayon lahat na safe. Palakpakan po natin ang ating mga sarili. Today is a very timely occasion because today is the kick-off of our university's annual Environment Week. This week is a reminder of the incredible responsibility we have, not just as individuals, but as members of a larger global community to safeguard our planet for generations to come. Each of us plays a vital role in shaping the world around us. And small action, when multiplied, can lead to significant change, from reducing waste to conserving energy, from planting trees to raising awareness about climate change. There are countless ways we can contribute to a healthier, more sustainable world. But today is not just about raising awareness, it's about sparking action. Environment Week is an opportunity to reflect on how we can weave sustainability into our daily lives. How we can push for innovation, and how we can hold ourselves and those around us accountable. We are the future leaders who will carry forward the torch of environmental stewardship. What we do now will echo in the world for years to come as we engage in the different activities throughout this week. I encourage each of you to think critically about the changes you can make, both on our university and in your own communities. Whether it's adopting more sustainable habits or getting involved in advocacy. Your participation matters. I know here in URS, we are already doing some incredible work, from sustainable campus initiatives to research that leads the way in environmental solutions. But we know there is more to be done, and the work starts with us today. Let's be inspired by nature's resilience, motivated by the urgency of the challenges we face, and determined to leave behind a world that is not only livable but thriving. Thank you to everyone who has worked tirelessly to make this week a reality. And thank you all for your commitment to the environment. Together, we can make a difference. Let's make this ang hiling ko sa inyong lahat. Alam ko na nagagawa na, pero isama natin ang ating mga puso. Sama-sama, tulong-tulong, makakaya natin. Environment Week, the start of something even bigger. Once again, good morning, and God bless us all. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Once again, thank you so much to our University President, Dr. Nancy T. Pascual. Another message will be given to us by the university's Vice President for Academic Affairs. Let us give a big hand to Dr. Alan E. Conde.
Thank you very much to our Masters of Ceremonies, of course, with our University President, Dr. Nancy T. Pascual, with my co-vice presidents here, Dr. Martes M. Rio of Research, Development, Extension, and Production, dear Campus Director, of course, with the host Campus Director, Dr. Namerod Bateo, Deans, Program Heads, students, guests, and of course, with our resource speaker, who will be properly introduced later. A pleasant morning to everyone. Welcome to the 11th Annual University Environmental Week. As our theme for this year, URS Cares for the Future. It is an avenue where the University of Rizal System and Academe and the local government unit work hand in hand towards our environmental concerns. There are a number of calamities and disasters happening since then up to the present. But of course, with our collaboration, with our cohesiveness and partnership, we believe we can combat everything that might hamper the success of everyone, most likely as far as environmental concerns is at stake. We believe that in this academe, URS is in continuous support to the vision, mission, and goals of our community. Lalong-lalo na po ang ating University of Rizal System, Tanay Main Campus, and our Rodriguez Campus na patuloy na nag-o-offer ng mga programs on agriculture. We believe that in our own ways, we can help our community through educating the youth towards this concern. Sabi nga, kung hindi po magmumula sa atin, kanino? Kung hindi ngayon, kailan? Kung hindi sa probinsya ng Rizal, saan? Ito po ay isang hamon sa bawat isa. Kung gusto po nating maging maganda ang magiging future ng ating community, let us continue to collaborate. Let us continue to communicate and work hand in hand in order to build the culture of excellence as environmental sustainability is concerned. Sabi nga sa SDG, Medium Development Goals, isa po sa concern dapat ng bawat isa ay ang pagmamahal sa ating kalikasan. With that, thank you very much and mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much to our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Alan E. Conde. Another message will be delivered to us by the university's Vice President for Research Development, Extension, and Production. Let us give a big hand to Dr. Marites M. Rio.
Thanks to the Master of the Ceremonies. Sabi ko, ang ganda ng kanyang boses, hindi dinaanan ng bagyo. So despite the challenges of the troop of typhoons that recently visited us in the past days, si Katrina, si Marce, si Pipito, katatapos lang, no? Thank God for another Wow Monday. Wow, for we are all gathered as one army of change, joining the 11th University Environment Week celebration. Tunay nga na every gising is a blessing. Seeing each one of you with a very good curve in your respective faces make us realize na kahit anong bagyo ang dumaan, mananatili tayong nakatayo sapagkat ang ating dakilang guro ay lagi nating kasama. Ang dami ko nababasa sa Facebook, bagyo ka lang. At ang aming dakilang guro ay higit na malaki sa kahit anong troop ng bagyo. To our invited keynote speaker, Dr. Brian Daniel Po Yamansares, who will be properly introduced later. We also have President Nancy T. Pascual, Vice President Alan E. Conde. Let me also note of the presence of Mr. Kennedy Rosas, Engineer Robinil Pepito, and the whole of the Penro and Menro family. Director Johnny Manimtim of the Research Development Unit, who is currently attending a conference in Dumaguete. We also have Director 𝑹𝒆𝒔𝒊𝒏 Mateo of the Extension Services Unit. And so, with the host, the EEBRC champions, Ma'am Esther, Miss Cleo, Mr. Saho, and I would not like to forget the presence of our dear good friend, pioneering also the activities of the EEBRC in the past 10 years. We have Engineer Steba. I've seen her a while ago. So, greetings goes also to the college deans, heads of offices, and units of operations, faculty and staff, and of course, the friends of the university and other guests. Isang mapagpalang araw po at lagi ko nga sinasabi, banggandang buhay. As we turn this day into another exciting page, we all welcome the opportunity to expand our horizons in support not just to the programs and advocacies of the Environmental Education Biodiversity Research Center, but in raising awareness and promoting actions in emerging environmental issues. The celebration today brings a spotlight on how we can serve our respective share in realizing this year's theme that says, URS Cares, which spells Climate Action for Resilient and Environmentally Sustainable Future. I have always believed that endeavors such as what we have today and in the following days is like cooking a meal. With the right formula and the right amount of ingredients, we will surely come up with something that will taste right and will interestingly inspire a momentum. Let us then welcome this day with an open mind and an open heart for us all to cook something that will inspire everyone toward greater height of productivity in support to SDG 1.5. Gusto ko sana magtanong, sino po ang makapagsasabi kung ano yung SDG 1.5? May libreng pa-GCash in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ma'am Tet, ang bilis naman. Okay, anyway, alam kong alam niyo yun. You could not just categorically say it, but I believe everyone is supportive of bringing better environment, better days, better people, better realities that we are all one army of change in support to environmental sustainability. With our most sincere effort and dedicated support to the targets of the Environmental Week celebration, as we could see the lineup of activities in the program that was given to us, we look forward to experiencing better days, better people, better community, and better humanity. Sapagkat sabi nga ni Bill Gates, everyone needs a coach. And so, we thank the grace of your presence, Dr. 𝑬𝒐𝒊𝒎𝒂𝒕𝒆, and the whole of the guests we have today, more so to everything that you will generously say and share. Indeed, the gift of this day, through the sharing of our distinguished invited speaker, will surely help us create an ecosystem that space up more than just understanding of a concept, but a practice of productivity and innovation in advancing our mission and service delivery among all our stakeholders. True enough, productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. So to everyone around, congratulations and thank you for your presence today. Tunay na hindi nakahadlang ang mga bumisita sa atin, sina Marcy, si Katrina, si Pepito, sapagkat tunay sa puso ng bawat isa na nasa pamilya ng University of Rizal System, lagi nating minamahal at iniibig na maging kabahagi ng lahat ng advokasya sa pamantasan, lalo na ang mga advocacy projects na pinangungunahan ng Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center. And to everyone around, muli po ang isang pasasalamat at tunay, gawin natin ang bahagi ng ating pag-usbong, patuloy na pag-usbong bilang isang pamantasan na tayo ay nagmamahal sa inang kalikasan. Great day ahead, everyone.
Thank you so much once again to our Vice President for Research, Development, Extension, and Production, Dr. Marites M. Rio. Now to discuss to us the rationale of the 11th Annual Environment Week 2024 celebration, let us welcome the head of the Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center. Let's give a big hand to Mrs. Esther C. Recla.
Good morning po sa lahat. Yan. So my task is to give the rationale of today's activity. Alright? So the University of Rizal Systems, or URS, Annual Environmental Week aligns with the university's vision of leading in human resource development, knowledge generation, technology innovation, and environmental stewardship. As global environmental challenges such as climate change and biodiversity loss become more pressing, URS recognizes the need for proactive educational initiatives. This year's theme, URS Cares, Climate Action for a Resilient and Environmentally Sustainable Future, highlights URS commitment to environmental stewardship through its Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center. The event engages students, faculty, and community members in discussion and activities centered on climate resilience, conservation, and sustainability. By raising awareness and providing practical tools to address environmental challenges, URS aims to cultivate leaders equipped for climate action and sustainable practices. Environmental Week strengthens the university's mission to generate knowledge and technology for sustainable, resilient future while fostering a culture of environmental consciousness and active community engagement. The University of Rizal System's Environmental Week will feature a variety of meaningful and engaging activities aimed at promoting environmental awareness and action. The event will kick off, of course, today, the opening program, featuring our keynote speaker, who will be introduced properly later. Another activities is Let's Talk About Nature, Climate Change Action. This is a dynamic discussion. Session focused on climate change and the necessary actions to combat its impacts. Another activities is the 4th Environmental Summit that will address the important topics including the Republic Act 9003 or the Solid Waste Management Act, the energy conservation and water conservation, providing a platform to explore critical environmental laws and sustainable resource management strategies. And also, practical engagement will be encouraged through a dish gardening activity where participants will learn and practice small-scale gardening for sustainable living. A poster-making contest will allow participants to creatively communicate themes of climate action and environmentally sustainability through art. Additionally, Environmental Serenade 2024, or the EEBRC Harana sa Kalikasan, will blend music and environmental themes, fostering a deeper connection with nature and cultural expression. This week also includes an online webinar on managing carbon footprints in the digital world, focusing on strategies for reducing environmental impacts in a technology-driven society. The event will also include a presentation of winners and a closing program, of course, highlighting contest results and reflecting the overall experience. These thoughtfully created activities of URS commitment is the commitment to environmental stewardship while providing an educational and collaborative platform for university community to engage in meaningful climate and sustainability efforts. And this event seek partnership with our PENRO and also smart communication. And that's all for my part. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to the head of the Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center, Mrs. Esther C. Recla. Now is the highlight of today's opening ceremony. To introduce to us our keynote speaker for today's event, let us welcome Professor Dandy M. Bitangkor.
Isang mapagkandiling umaga po sa inyong lahat. It is my immense pride to introduce our keynote speaker. Sir Brian Poe holds a PhD in Public Administration from the University of Perpetual Help and a Master's in Liberal Arts, Climate, and Society from Columbia University, New York, USA. He has also received education from prestigious schools such as Wharton, Harvard, and MIT. He was the Chief of Staff for Senator Grace Poe and Chairman of the FPJ Panday Bayanihan Foundation. Sir Brian has been recognized for his contributions in entrepreneurship, public service, and innovation. He recently graduated from the Masters in National Security Administration for senior executives at the National Defense College of the Philippines. Sir Brian co-chairs the Strategic Communications Committee of the Army Reserve Command and advises the PNP's Aviation Security Group, strengthening our nation's aviation security and military communications. He is also a trustee at the Blockchain Council of the Philippines and has been elected chairman of the Global AI Council's Advisory Board. Author of A Sustainable Future, a book published by the Manila Bulletin, Sir Brian is committed to helping Filipinos tackle climate change head-on. His weekly column on the Philippine Star further amplifies his message, providing insights and solutions to address a broad range of challenges facing the nation and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's URS Environment Week keynote speaker, Dr. Brian Daniel Po Llamanzares.
Hi, magandang umaga po. Please be seated. Thank you. Before I begin, I'd like to greet a few people. First and foremost, of course, our university president, Dr. Nancy Pascual, ma'am. The VP for Research and Development Extension, Dr. Marites Rio, ma'am. My seatmates, of course. Dr. Marvin Omoyin, Dr. Alan Conde, Dr. Jani Manimtim, tama po ba? Dr. Fe Mateo, Miss Maria Chrysostom, Chrysostrom, tama po. Chrysostorum. Ayan. Kaya hindi po ako naging professor. Roll call pa lang, talo na ako. Dr. Mateo, of course. Our University of Rizal System campus directors and focal persons, deans, faculty, non-teaching personnel, and students. At syempre yung mga guests natin from the Provincial Environment and Natural Resources Office or DENR. And of course, ang mga Municipal Environment and Natural Resource Officers, thank you for being here today. Swerte nga tayo na at least lumabas yung araw at walang ulan ngayon. At dahil nag-cancel po sila ng mga classes, hindi po ako nag-late. On time po tayo. So thank the Lord for that. So I'm happy to be here in your presence today. Thank you for having me in this very significant and very timely event. The 11th Annual University Environment Week of the University of Rizal System. Maganda po ito dahil lagpas isang dekada na ang tradisyon ng Environmental Week at napakahalaga po ang Environmental Week, lalong-lalo na dito sa Pilipinas because we, again, have gone from being the second most vulnerable country in the world to climate change to being number one. And so that sends a signal to all of our young people and all of our thought leaders na kailangan talaga tayo maghanap ng solution sa climate change. And so these events are very important to raise awareness for that. If you're wondering why I'm here today, two reasons. First, yung background ko po sa sustainability. For those of you who aren't familiar, I took my master's in climate change. Iilan lang po ang may specialization dito sa climate change mismo. Hindi lang dito sa Pilipinas, kundi kahit sa US, kahit internationally, konti pa lang yung mga experts natin dito. Kaya kailangan natin ikalat po ang information as well as education when it comes to climate change. Kaya even for my second masteral in national security, pinipilit ko ang sustainability kahit sa national security issues. Kasi sa totoo lang, hindi China ang biggest threat sa Pilipinas. Taon-taon, meron tayong mga bagyo na billion-billion ang gastos natin para sa repairs at damages dito sa sarili nating bansa. Dahil, of course, sa climate change. Sinasabi nga nila, kung nakita mo yung recent news articles na lumalabas, hindi usual ang nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas. 3-4 na mga bagyo sunod-sunod na typhoon level signal number 5 sa mga iba't ibang probinsya. Hindi normal po yan. Ito po yung sinasabi nilang extreme climate conditions na naranasan natin the past month, no? And we have a few more typhoons to go. Kaya it's very important that we recognize sustainability is no longer one of the minor issues in this country. It is a national security concern. Kaya po, dalawa po yung masterals. Tapos, the second reason why I'm here today is because Prof. Esther happens to be a friend of my friend Azzy, who is a member of the Rizal Mountaineers Club. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, they help our kababayans in hard-to-reach areas and communities here in Rizal. And si Azzy actually is my colleague sa Senate, and we've been working together since 2012. Bago naging senator po ang nanay ko, si Azzy ay isa po sa mga unang volunteers po namin. Kaya nung sinabi ni Azzy na kailangan nyo ng keynote speaker para sa event nyo po, I couldn't say no. Kaya pumunta po ako dito ngayon. So climate change poses a significant threat to the economy and growth, of course, and of our human livelihoods. Climate risk refers to the potential adverse effects of climate change on human well-being, which can include increased deaths, displacement, and illness. According to the World Bank's latest groundswell report, in a worst-case temperature scenario, up to 216 million people may be internally displaced by 2050 due to the intensification of climate change. At dito sa Pilipinas, nakikita naman natin yun, yung mga kababayan natin, lalo na sa Kamsur at sa mga ibang parte ng Bicol, hanggang ngayon hindi bumabalik yung mga ibang tao sa sarili nilang tahanan dahil po sa mga climate change issues natin. The direct impacts of climate change, such as damage to property, the reduced agricultural yields, can have a ripple effect across regions and sectors because of the interconnected nature of socio-economic and financial systems. For example, let's look outside the Philippines. In Mali, changes in rainfall patterns, cultivation, and human settlement have led to tension over land use and access to natural resources, contributing to climate migration in recent years. Here mismo sa Pilipinas, nakikita natin ang severe tropical storm Christine has caused significant devastation across 17 regions here in the Philippines. Approximately 7.1 million people have been affected, leading to widespread displacement. 935,114 individuals are either staying in evacuation centers or seeking shelter with relatives and friends. The storm damaged roughly 83,000 houses and flooded more than 61,000 hectares of agricultural land, impacting communication, impacting transportation. Christine has been recognized as the deadliest tropical cyclone to hit the Philippines this year. With the onslaught of Typhoon Nika, Typhoon Ophel, and of course, Super Typhoon Pepito, a total of 462,000 families, or 1.7 million persons, have been affected across 3,261 barangays. Regions 1, 2, 3, Mimaropa, Region 5, Region 8, and of course, CAR. According to DSWD, 7,838 houses were damaged, of which 437 are totally damaged and 7,400 partially damaged across these regions, leaving hundreds of thousands of families and persons displaced across the various regions. The numbers aren't there to shock us. Every year naman, alam naman natin, mataas ang damage rate, mataas ang gastos natin, at ang dami na naapektuhan. But we need a constant reminder so that legislators, so that government leaders can see the urgency and can see that year on year, nag-i-increase po ang bayad natin bawat typhoon. Youth are not only the victims of climate change, but they are also the advocates of climate action. With growing youth population, young people, all of those online who are watching, are the most vulnerable sector of society. Those affected by extreme weather disasters face multiple deficiencies. And of course, communicable diseases spread from the environment. According to the World Youth Report in 2020, there's approximately 1.2 billion young people, accounting for 16% of the global population. The Philippines currently has the largest generation of young people in our nation's history. 30 million young people between the ages of 10 to 24 make up 28% of our population. UNICEF reports that displacement due to extreme weather events between 2016 to 2021 included millions of children who left behind their homes due to floods, for example, in Bangladesh, storms here in the Philippines, or drought in Somalia. As a result, the youth have been actively voicing their concerns about climate change, climate risks, and push for a sense of urgency unlike any other type of emergency. For example, for us in FPJ Panday Bayanihan, our FPJ Panday Bayanihan youth have been involved in relief operations during disasters. In fact, this recent disaster, it's the first time that we've been able to mobilize it. No? We had a national congress recently for our youth volunteers. Iba't ibang organizations pumunta dito sa Maynila to express their interest in supporting various advocacies, including climate change and disaster relief. No? Right after that, we were hit by Typhoon Christine. Iilan sa mga youth leaders nagme-message sa akin at naghihingi ng tulong hindi para sa sarili pero para sa mga communities nila. Sila po ay naging frontliners dahil yung mga frontliners galing sa gobyerno ay walang access po sa mga communities nila. So sila mismo ang nag-activate ng volunteerism, bayanihan, at iba't ibang mga activities, feeding programs, distribution ng hygiene kits, etc. Makikita mo yan sa mga pages natin. Ang gusto ko lang i-highlight dito, yung naging frontliners po ay yung mga kabataan. Dahil they have the energy, they know that it's risky, and they don't want others to be involved. They want to be the ones at the forefront to help our communities. Kaya napakahalaga na we empower our young people to take part in disaster resilience. We educate them on how to do it properly. Kasi yung mga ibang volunteers natin gusto mag-volunteer, kaso wala namang training po sa pagiging frontliners. Wala namang equipment po, walang access sa funding. Kaya kami, for example, sa FPJ Panday Bayanihan, we encourage them, we train them, and we also give them the resources. If we could activate this on a much larger scale, and we could activate the youth population, which apparently accounts for 28% of the Philippine population, we will have added resources and assets in the field. So for us, FPJ Panday has remained steadfast in offering assistance and help to those in need. Hindi lang ngayon. We've been doing this since 2013, officially with FPJ Panday Bayanihan. But even before that, kung naalala nyo si FPJ, tuwing may calamities or kung may tao na kailangan ng tulong, hindi mahirap lapitan si FPJ. Little known fact, pero tanungin mo yung mga kasama nyo, yung mga kaibigan nyo, yung mga kabag-anak nyo, kung saan nagtitaping si FPJ, tumutulong siya sa mga communities na yan. Kung babalikan mo ang mga taping ni FPJ, yung mga pelikula niya, gustong-gusto ni FPJ ang mga location shots. Kaya nakikita mo ang mga iba't ibang parte ng Bulacan, ng Rizal, ng Ilocos, fini-feature po niya sa mga pelikula niya. Now, we rely on green screens. Pero back then, talagang pinupuntahan niya ang mga lugar. Yung mga communities doon, siya nagtatayo ng mga eskwelahan, siya gumagawa ng mga water system kasi kailangan nila. Siya yung tumutulong pag may mga bagyo at mga ibang emergencies. Ang point ko lang dito, ang spirit ng bayanihan has been there ever since. And this is a spirit that we want to encourage as we move forward into a more climate vulnerable future. Ayun. So, likewise, young climate leaders from various countries came together for the recent UN Climate Change Conference of the Parties 2024. I'm sure you're very familiar with COP29, which is currently ongoing po. And this is where they discuss all the possible solutions, all the concerns every year regarding climate change. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed his deep concern as he addressed the Youth Advisory Group and UNGO, the official youth community of the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. He said, and I quote, "You have every right to be angry. I am too." The UN chief posted this on his social media last week. The youth participants spoke of their dreams and fears, proposing concrete steps to make the world more sustainable and secure for future generations. For many, climate issues are no longer abstract concepts, but everyday realities that they are determined to face head-on. The perspectives of young people should be integral to climate initiatives. Gutierrez said and added that the second point concerns climate finance, which should be accessible to all nations, especially the most vulnerable to climate change. Very briefly, why is climate finance so important? For those of us in DE&R, I'm sure you understand. But for the young people who are viewing online, napakahalaga ang climate finance. Because isipin mo, for example, earlier, na-mention ko, 61,000 hectares of agricultural land were affected. Paano po yung mga magsasaka? Saan sila maghahanap ng pondo para sa agricultural yield na nawala nila this year because of the typhoons? Climate financing helps provide loan infrastructure para mapondohan natin sila, para hindi mabigat ang burden ng mga loan sharks, etc. sa mga kababayan natin na kailangan magbangon muli. Mga kasama, there are a lot of different things that we have to prioritize in terms of climate policy, but definitely, I do believe that climate financing is very important. Aside from that, of course, volunteerism and disaster resilience. The Philippines is a country that is naturally prone to hazards due to its geographic location and landscape. Every year, an average of 20 tropical cyclones from the Pacific Ocean cross the country, bringing with them dangers such as high winds, storm surges, and flooding. Kahit nga kami internally sa organization namin, nag-iisip kami baka we need to start preparing relief goods every year in advance because grabe na yung devastation. Every year it gets worse and worse. And the prices of goods and commodities is also going up. The price of rice has continued to increase. the price of other goods have increased, and the accessibility to these goods during these disasters becomes almost impossible. Kaya for us, as a small organization, nag-iisip na kami kung kailangan kami mag-ipon na ng mga relief goods in advance para agad-agad makapag-distribute. What more ang mga disaster centers natin sa mga LGUs or even on the national scale. Kaya matagal na kami nag-advocate para sa Department of Disaster Resilience because we need an agency na talagang nakatutok dito. Hindi pwede yung iba't ibang agencies pag gusto nila sumali, sasali na lang. Dapat meron tayong isang agency na talagang nagsispearhead at may future planning para sa disaster resilience. If you know you're gonna have 20 typhoons every year, if you know you're gonna spend billions of pesos to rehabilitate these areas or to prepare in advance, why don't we invest already in an agency that will have the experts and the foresight to handle these issues? Kaya ito po ay naging isa sa mga legislation po namin sa office ni Senator Grace po, and hopefully in the future, with more young people coming into Congress, they'll be able to advocate for this kind of forward thinking. Ang problema kasi natin sa baba, and syempre, as teachers, minsan kayo po yung mga frontliners, no? I'm sure naranasan nyo to. Minsan yung mga iba't ibang agencies, nagtuturuan kung sino yung in charge at sino magte-take ng responsibility para sa mga emergencies or disasters na nangyayari sa area. Hindi dapat ganun. Dapat meron tayong isang focal person na may experience, that is in charge, and that can lead through each of the disasters, because we spend too much time and lose too many lives because we aren't prepared and because we don't have enough leadership and support. Additionally, aside from leadership issues, of course, poverty is still very prevalent in many parts of the Philippines, which results in increasing vulnerability for a majority of our poor population. This poverty makes individuals even more susceptible to the impacts of disasters. In urban areas, many low-income residents live in dangerous areas next to creeks, rivers, dikes, and even, of course, garbage dumps, placing their lives at risk during floods and landslides. In rural areas naman po, frequent typhoons and droughts threaten the livelihood and food security of farming and fisher folk, which are heavily dependent on weather and climate conditions. Furthermore, inadequate diets, limited access to clean water and sanitation, and insufficient health services weaken these families' resistance to disease and malnutrition. Despite the challenges and lack of natural resources, poor households in both urban and rural communities have developed methods to support themselves for daily survival during these times of crisis. Indigenous support mechanisms such as damayan, or compassion, and bayanihan, or cooperation and volunteerism, are widely practiced in both everyday situations and, of course, during emergencies. Damayan at bayanihan. A study was conducted by a professor from the University of the Philippines, Teresita Barameda, who highlights a significant role of these practices in the lives of the Filipino people, particularly, of course, as coping mechanisms. Social resources and adaptive strategies are involved, but they symbolize the hope and provide essential support to poor and rural communities. Minsan, sinasabi ng mga tao, they can't rely on government, or government's unable to address the situation fast enough, so they have to rely on each other. And this is really the spirit of bayanihan. When others can't step in, we step in for each other. These practices help foster the community's capacity to develop internal resilience, both individual and collective, in the initial phases of recovery and mitigation. However, despite their considerable contributions to building resilience among participants, they have their limitations. The benefits gained from these collective efforts can easily be undermined by ongoing damages or recurring typhoons and floods. Therefore, institutional support is essential to complement the community efforts and strengthen local capacities. Long-term recovery processes are also required for external support. This brings up two very important points. One is donor fatigue. Nakakapagod din. At nauubos ang mga resources natin. Kahit gusto tayo tumulong, kung sunod-sunod ang mga bagyo, the reality is mauubos ang pondo natin. Mauubos ang mga na-set aside natin para sa mga kababayan natin. At even yung lakas natin, nakakapagod. Kung lagi nasa field tayo dahil kailangan mag-volunteer dahil sa mga bagyo, we have our own day-to-day jobs. We have our own livelihood. We have our own family and friends to feed and protect. We can't always be in the field being volunteers. Kaya kailangan ng institutional support. Ito yung sinasabi natin na long-term support galing sa gobyerno. One other thing that I'd like to highlight here is we see a lot of mobilization, no? During typhoons, during, and right after. Pero suddenly, we tend to forget the communities moving forward. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months out. But these are the times na kailangan sila ng long-term investment. Yung babalik yung tao, yung sinasabi natin, build back better. No? This is where government needs to play a role. Kasi yung volunteerism, okay lang, tayo na bahala, we'll support each other, we'll be there for each other. Pero after that, sana government can be there to help build back an even stronger community and lead them into an even more prosperous year instead of every year nagre-react lang po tayo. Kaya the future of volunteerism in disasters and preparedness and emergency response is in our hands. The Climate Change Commission Vice Chairperson and Executive Director Robert Borre emphasized the critical role of youth in addressing climate change. Rather than being mere victims, young people are essential assets who will become leaders in climate action. Empowering them is crucial for creating a greener future. In 2017, when I applied for my master's in climate change, you can count with your hands the number of schools, even in the United States, that had a specialization in climate change. Of those schools, I'd say maybe 3 to 5 lang ang talagang experts, world leaders in those fields. Of the 3, Columbia University was the foremost expert in climate change because the International Research Institute, or IRI, is part of Columbia. And IRI is home to the scientists that termed El Nino and La Nina. That's how many thought leaders Columbia has. And even there, my batch was only 27 people. Isipin mo this is already a first world country, leading experts na in the field of climate change, and there were only 27 of us graduating as experts in climate change from Columbia University. However, times have changed. In the recent years, since I left Columbia, came back home, started working here, when I went back in 2020 for my international book tour on sustainability, syempre, I gave a talk in my alma mater, no? And they were proud to see that research had come from the Philippines. They have an entire school building now dedicated to climate change. It's the newest and the biggest building built by Columbia University because they saw in recent years the need to begin preparing for climate change. Kasi iba na talaga yung toll ng climate disasters across the world. From 27, they're now graduating batches of 500. So you can see how the world is changing and how people are starting to put a premium on climate change. Kaya yung trabaho nyo bilang thought leaders, professors, teachers, itong Environment Week, napakahalaga po. Para sa mga estudyante online, I hope you're watching because this is important. You guys will be the thought leaders in the future. And this will be your battle cry. I do believe that young people will be facing more climate disasters in the future and even more climate vulnerable future, and kaya kailangan natin maghanda. So, in addition to organized movements, young Filipinos can take various small but impactful actions in their daily lives. Simple practices like waste segregation, avoiding single-use plastics, reusing and repurposing clothing, sharing climate information on social media, conserving water and electricity, and of course, educating others can significantly contribute to the betterment of the planet. Universities, such as the University of Rizal Systems, are vital hubs for research and for teaching on climate change. I remember when I was writing my book on sustainability, there was a lot of pushback, no? A lot of people saying na, one, hindi yan yung major issue natin dito sa bansa. Livelihood, pagkain, ito po yung mga issues natin. But for me, I believe that sustainability is such a wide and general topic that it does touch on these things. For example, food security is a sustainability issue. Ito po, yung mga natural disasters natin, is a sustainability issue. Water, which is one of the pressing issues in our country, doesn't make sense kung bakit tayo meron water issues. Kasi sa dami ng mga bagyo, for some reason, every year, meron tayong warnings na maubos ang tubig natin sa mga dams. Ang Lamesa Dam, laging high alert. Tuwing may summer tayo. Well, how does that make sense if every year may flooding issues naman tayo, di ba? So, ang point ko lang dito is there are a lot of national issues which we all feel on a daily basis, and yet we don't give enough importance to sustainability, which will address these issues. Water, the price of electricity, the price of rice, all of these issues, the price of gas. These issues are all issues rooted in sustainability. I had a meeting 2-3 weeks ago with one of the leaders in e-vehicles here in the Philippines. Private sector, nag-i-invest po sa e-vehicles. Taon-taon may loss sila kasi wala pa yung industry ng e-vehicles dito sa Pilipinas. Kulang tayo sa infrastructure para ma-accommodate po ang e-vehicles kasi kulang tayo sa mga charging stations, etc. All the other countries in Southeast Asia, naghahanda na ng e-vehicle plan. Tayo wala pa. Kulang pa. How long are we going to be behind when we are always at the forefront of sustainability-related issues? Kaya mga kasama, we really need to make this our priority. So with that, and with you being here today, the spirit of Damayan and of course of Bayanihan should continue to thrive. These Filipino traits and values must be kept alive. And although these actions may seem insignificant, they exemplify the immense potential that youth have for climate action beyond merely leading. By adopting these practices, young people can reduce the carbon footprint and inspire peers, family members, communities to follow suit. These simple actions serve as a reminder that, that anyone can contribute to positively affect change in the country and in the planet. Individuals can lead their own unique ways towards a more sustainable future. And moreover, we can guide the Filipino youth towards ecological stewardship. And before I end, I just want to highlight the fact that there are a lot of young people who take the initiative to push for their own changes. My effort was writing that book because a lot of policymakers aren't well versed. I was fortunate enough to study abroad and to take my master's in climate change, but the reality is not everyone will have access to that. Kaya the book I wrote was really more on to give you a general overview of multiple climate change issues and what their policy solutions are. Para I can equip future young leaders with the knowledge to be able to address these issues, but more importantly, to inspire young people and tell them they can do it too. Because writing is one of the best ways for us to start change. Our national hero changed the country by writing a book. Why can't you? That's what I always tell young people when I meet with them. Yung mga kabataan ngayon kasi parang magsusulat ng thesis, ng dissertation, para lang makagraduate. I think they forgot the purpose of that was to contribute to the academic community and to add knowledge to what's out there in the world. When young people come up to me and they ask me, Kuya Brian, anong pwede kong gawin to help? And I say, don't waste your papers. Write meaningful things. Because whether or not people will use it, someone somewhere will read it. And that person may get ideas and may come up with a solution, whether it's policy, whether it's innovation, to address the concerns of our country. Kaya don't waste your college education, don't waste your ability to write a meaningful thesis or dissertation, contribute to the community, find ways to publish those thoughts and ideas. Kasi right now on social media, post na tayo ng post, pero yung content, diba? Let's post meaningful content. I'm not saying post your dissertation online, kasi baka mabore yung mga ibang tao, but let's start meaningful conversations kahit at home with our friends, and let's talk about and let's be excited about sustainability. Let's talk about the advances we're making as a nation, as a community, as a people, towards a more sustainable future. So as your Kuya Brian po, I stand with you in this fight for a more sustainable future. Together, let's help continue to work hard, collaborate, inspire, and motivate others to join us in this campaign for a more resilient, well-prepared, and greener Philippines. Maraming salamat po. At mabuhay ang University of Rizal System.
Once again, our keynote speaker, Dr. Brian Daniel Po Llamanzares. Let's give him a big round of applause, please. Everyone, thank you so much. Now for the awarding of the certificate and plaque of recognition for our keynote speaker, may we call on once again our keynote speaker, Dr. Brian, together with the university key officials in the persons of our university president, Dr. Nancy T. Pascual, our vice president for academic affairs, Dr. Alan E. Conde, our vice president for research development, extension, and production, Dr. Marites M. Rio, our head for the Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center, Mrs. Esther C. Recla, and the campus director of the University of Rizal System Tanay Campus, Dr. Namrod F. Mateo. Allow me to read the content of the certificate. Republic of the Philippines, University of Rizal System, Province of Rizal, awards this certificate of recognition to Dr. Brian Daniel Po Llamanzares, the Chief of Staff of Office of the Senator Grace Poe, for serving as a keynote speaker during the opening program of the 11th Annual University Environment Week 2024 with the theme, URS Cares, Climate Action for a Resilient and Environmentally Sustainable Future, held on November 18, 2024 at the Dumagat Hall, URS Main Campus, Tanay Rizal. Given this 18th day of November 2024 at the Dumagat Hall of the University of Rizal System Main Campus, Tanay Rizal. Signed, University President, Dr. Nancy T. Pascual. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
So I'm also turning over a copy of A Sustainable Future for the library. Okay lang po kung i-photocopy nyo yan. And the point is, more students need to learn about sustainability. And I hope magagamit nila para sa kanilang mga papers and research. Thank you po.
All right, may we request our dear participants to have a photo opportunity with our keynote speaker. May we- All right, we're going to have a photo documentation with our keynote speaker, Dr. Brian, together with our key officials today. So, face po is dito in front. May we request everyone to please stand po. Ayan. All right, may we all move in the center po, all of our delegates and participants from the different campuses of URS. May we meet in the middle po and smile in the camera in our stage po. All right, once again, let's give a round of applause to our keynote speaker, Dr. Brian Daniel Poe Llamanzares. To formally end this opening ceremony, let us hear the closing remarks to be given by the Director of Extension Services of the University of Rizal System. Let's give a big hand to Dr. Fe Esperanza T. Mateo.
Thank you very much, Sir Emil. My greetings of a good day to our keynote speaker, Dr. Brian Daniel Poe Llamanzares, Chief of Staff, Office of Senator Grace Poe. Dr. Nancy T. Pascual, the URS President, the Vice Presidents, Dr. Marites M. Rio, Dr. Alan E. Conde, representatives from Penro Rizal, led by Engineer Robinel Pepito, our friends from Menro in Rizal Province, the Director for Research, Dr. Johnny L. Manimtim, the Director for Production, Mrs. Jessica A. Cristorum, Dr. Nimrod F. Mateo, the Campus Director of URS Tanay, Mrs. Esther C. Recla, the head of the Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center, the EEBRC focal persons, other university officials, officers and members of URS Kasali, faculty and staff, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This is the 11th year. Praises and thanks to our God for the more than 1 decade of inspiration. Indeed, the holding of the 11th Annual University Environment Week is a confirmation that the University of Rizal System not only envisions to be a leader in environmental stewardship, but as a true nurturer of God's creations. Years ago, we were thinking of how environmental education can be integrated in the university operations. There were so many ideas ranging from resources conservation, information campaign, enhanced partnerships, among others. And these all were considered in all of our university initiatives. Our collective efforts in environmental protection are worthy of support, and this is a very fine time for the URS family and other stakeholders to once more reflect on how far it has realized its plans in terms of contributing to climate resiliency and environmental sustainability. To everyone here in URS and to all other stakeholders, please accept our sincere appreciation for all your help, specifically in the implementation of our environmental undertakings. Nawa po ay patuloy tayong magsama-sama upang ang ating mga gawain na nasimulan ay magkaroon ng mas malalim na kabuluhan. Together, we, the people of today, can inspire our future generations. Let us move, not because we are mandated to do so, but let us move because we truly care. As what Dr. Brian said earlier, let us contribute to the academic community, add knowledge, write and publish meaningful contents, share advancements in our fields, and consider more sustainable future. Huwag po natin itong kakalimutan. Thank you and mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Once again, our Director for Extension Services of the University of Rizal System, Dr. Fe Esperanza T. Mateo. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the opening program of the 11th Annual University Environment Week. Once again, thank you so much despite of the unconditional weather. Thank you for coming to URS Tanay. I'm Victor Emil Benito at isang makakalikasang umaga sa inyong lahat. Just a gentle reminder po of our seminar later at the RDEP building. Let's talk about nature that will start po at 1 p.m. sa ating RDEP building. Maraming salamat po.
Welcome to Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center. The University of Rizal System, through the Center, shall serve as a catalyst of environmental advocacies and biodiversity conservation initiative in URS service areas. The Center shall facilitate the integration of environmental education principles in the curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular programs of the university. This also includes the celebration of annual University Environment Week every month of November. The Center also spearheads the implementation of university management guidelines which pertains to waste disposal, community education and public awareness, tree planting and care of plants, smoke-free campus, agricultural practices, animals in the campus, energy conservation, water conservation, purchasing of materials, environmental army, environmental fee, and enforcement. Also, the management of material recovery facility, which primary purpose is to recover recyclables and minimize materials which will be disposed through the dump site and landfills. The Center also take lead in the conduct of researches and projects along with the thrusts and priorities of the university, specifically those pertinent to environmental education and biodiversity conservation. The Center also undertake activities that warrant the compliance of the university to environmental laws. The Center also take part in the community environmental advocacies and partnerships. With the commitment of the Center and the University of Rizal System, we believe that we are inspiring people toward environmental stewardship.
The University of Rizal System is an organized academic entity composed of separate but interrelated units, coordinates and integrates system-wide functions and activities. It has the prime mandate of providing instruction, research, extension, and production to the public. The main campus of URS is located here at JP Rizal Street, Barangay Sampaloc, Tanay, Rizal, with approximately 92.4 hectares. The campus has 3 colleges and a laboratory school. We have the College of Agribusiness Management, College of Agriculture, and the College of Science and Education. To realize the quality policy of the university, stating its commitment to deliver excellent products and services, to ensure total stakeholder satisfaction in instruction, research, extension, production, and dynamic administrative support, and to continuously improve its quality management system processes to satisfy all applicable requirements. Here are the glimpses of our facilities in support to academic and non-academic activities. We have the campus library, the student publication office, our our multi-purpose covered court. Security Unit and ROTC Building. The University Sports Development Center. Our multi-purpose canteen. The Campus Cooperatives Business Affairs. The multi-purpose ground Sunken Oval. The Dumagat Hall that caters indoor activities. The Student Center and USSG Office. The Office of Student Development Services. The Education Hall. The NSTP Building. Campus Public and Alumni Affairs and Culture and Arts Office. Farm Shop and Technology Building. Our science laboratories. Anthurium and ornamental project for learning site. Our medical and dental unit. The Jose P. Rizal Hall or admin building where various offices are located. The office of our campus director and planning head. The Information Technology Center and many more. The campus also serves as the seat for some university offices. We have the Research, Development, Extension and Production Training Center. The Sustainable Agriculture and Natural Resources Institute. With its various projects, also serves as learning sites. The Office of Environmental Education and Biodiversity Research Center that is also in charge of the management of the locally declared 6 hectares protected area. Despite the challenges brought by the pandemic, the University of Rizal system, specifically Panay campus, is committed to this meaningful journey towards academic excellence and responsive community service. Our vision is to become the leading university in human resource development, knowledge and technology generation, and environmental stewardship. With the mission that the University of Rizal system is committed to nurture and produce upright and competent graduates and empowered community through relevant and sustainable higher professional and technical instruction, research, extension, and production services. And core values of rising, responsiveness, integrity, service, excellence, social responsibility. With that, we commit to nurture tomorrow's noblest.